G'day. Rumours that Angela Cullen will be returning to Formula One alongside Lewis Hamilton. It's a juicy prospect, and she's certainly super popular. But what's happened, and is there any truth in this? A few days ago, Lewis Hamilton posted this picture of himself on the slopes, skiing in Colorado. Around the same time, so did Angela Cullen, Lewis's old physio. She can be seen here wearing a red jacket, some would say Ferrari, and in the background, a lot of eager fans have picked up the fact that there's a number 44 sign. Now, hats off to the fans. They've done some research on this, and they seem to think that they're both at the same resort, and this is some sort of clue as to Angela returning to Lewis's side. Now, she was with him from 2015 until the first race of 2023, but after Abu Dhabi, she and Lewis put up synchronised posts on social media saying that they were parting ways. Now, I don't think any of us have really got to the bottom of why that happened, but they were a very popular couple. Not romantic, but a working couple. When Angela left, Steve Lord took over looking after a lot of Angela's roles at the track. And then last year, 2024, Kylie Tomich was in the role of physio/trainer. Kylie is a Perth woman, quiet, very good at her job, and I actually spoke to her going back, probably 2 months ago now, and said, "Are you going with Lewis to Ferrari?" And she said yes. So this rumour now has come as quite a surprise to me, because I thought it was done and dusted, Kylie was going with Lewis. And getting back to the source of this rumour, with fans perhaps picking up on stuff that may or may not be true, I have a lot of WAG sites, wives and girlfriend sites, who when a driver has a new girlfriend, they'll be sending me all this stuff saying, "Oh, look, this is so-and-so, and look at the couch she's sitting on, and here's a picture of the driver, and he's sitting on the same couch. Is there something going on?" So those invested fans can be quite good with their detective work. Oh, and a number of you are not subscribed. I can't believe that. If you're one of those, could you please help me out and hit the subscribe button now so you don't miss out on future content? A number of British newspapers have run stories about this, and pretty much all they're doing is saying, like I'm doing, hey, these people have picked up on what might be a clue. So what has Angela been doing since she left Lewis? Well, she's been working with Marcus Armstrong. Marcus is a New Zealander, as is Angela. He drives an IndyCar, pops up at F1 races occasionally, and is a pretty sharp young rooster. I've contacted Marcus and a number of other IndyCar drivers just to ask him whether or not Angela will be back with him this year. I have had no response from him. Certainly none of the other IndyCar drivers that I know have any idea about this. And yes, I've also messaged Angela and Kylie to get their feedback, and I haven't heard from either as yet, and there's no obligation on them to respond to me. But as of yesterday, Tuesday, January 14, Angela's Instagram page was no longer visible. I don't know why. Do you know why? But I kind of figure there's been a lot of interest in this, and perhaps she's just gone quiet. 487,000 followers is a big number, and certainly Angela was popular in the paddock with fans. They'd give her gifts, they'd ask for selfies and autographs, I guess primarily because she was often seen on television, had become quite a personality in her own right, and was a positive and nice person to be around. And Lewis rated her as the single hardest working woman that I get to be around. To this day, my video about Angela, which you can find in the links below, has been my biggest ever YouTube video. As it stands now, we are just postulating as to whether or not she will pop up with him this year. I think the first opportunity we're going to get an answer to that question is Monday or Tuesday of next week, because that's when Lewis Hamilton heads to Maranello to do the first of 4 track days with Ferrari. Now, this is not in the new car, this is in a past car, but certainly he'll bring with him his security team, and I imagine his trainer, his physio, and certainly he'd be working with either Kylie or Angela, and the pair will be training hard. Now, the thing is, at the Maranello test day, media aren't allowed. Ferrari will be covering it, and certainly there'll be tens of thousands, I think, packing that town to get a look at Lewis's first time out in a Ferrari. And you can actually access, well, you can't get onto the track, but you can see it from a bridge that's at the far end of the circuit. But from that point, I'm not sure you'd get a look into the garage to see whether it is Angela or Kylie with Lewis. And just on that subject of Lewis's testing the car, Ferrari is allowed to test on 4 days and rack up no more than 1,000 kilometres of track time in a past car. Normally they'd split the driving between their two drivers, but this year, with Lewis's introduction to the team, he gets all 4 days. And what you'll find is that they'll do 1 day, which will be the 20th or the 21st, Monday or Tuesday of January, and they'll pick the best weather day of those. Then they'll go to Barcelona at the end of the month, I understand, to do another 3 days of testing, and they've booked the track for 4 so that they can pick the best 3 days. And if we go back to 2018, there was actually snow during pre-season testing in Barcelona, so booking the track for 4 days to pick your best 3 is probably not a bad idea. Certainly the whole thing is intriguing, and if it is true that Angela is rejoining Lewis after nearly 2 years apart, what would be the reasoning behind doing a little teaser like this? If nothing else, it has certainly given a lot of Formula One fans something to talk and think about. So let me recap. Lewis puts this picture up on his Instagram. Angela puts this one up. They're both wearing red. They're both in the snow. There's a number 44 on a ski route sign behind Angela. Fan detectives get excited about it, and the whole F1 community is now asking, is it possible Angela could be rejoining him? And bear this in mind, no other F1 physio or trainer has anything like the social media presence that Angela has. The bottom line is, time will tell as to who will be working with Lewis in 2025. Now, before you go, could you please hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already done so? And for my 2025 wall calendar, my best of photo books, and a whole host of other stuff, head to the shop at kimillman.com. Thanks for watching, and stay passionate. And if you remember, let's find out.